Dear friends, welcome back to my channel. Let's read. Today we'll be reading a very heart touching yet a reality based story. From the timeless collection of Malti Joshi, let's read वो तेरा घर ये मेरा घर. Today, after ages, Pinky was so happy and was bubbling with happiness on dining table. With the end of PMT exams, the environment was light and the tension came to an end for everyone in the house. Prasanna's second semester had ended day before yesterday. Today Pinky is also free. As of now, the tension of result has been postponed and everyone in the house is now wishing to have fun for few days. Everyone was planning for the same at the dining table. Everyone was sharing their views and desires. Mr. Prasad put a full stop on his kids' happiness and said, Beta, you all are forgetting that your papa's office doesn't have summer vacation. Oh ho, so you sit comfortably in the house, said Mrs. Prasad in a truncated voice. But for sure, I will go somewhere. I desperately need a break for at least 10-15 days. You never see anything apart from your office, and I have been bearing the tension of these two all alone. I need a change badly. Actually, I was thinking, said Mr. Prasad hesitantly and was silent again. What are you saying? Now speak also. I was saying that this Saturday or Sunday I will go to Sagar and bring Babuji back home. Oh no, said the kids in a chorus. Mrs. Prasad scolded them with eyes and said, So early? So early? It's not early. He has been away for more than 2 months. Has he ever stayed at his daughter's place for so long? What, Papa? You have also started believing in boys and girls. All these are unnecessary things. Yes, you are right. It might be irrelevant for us, but for Babuji, it's not. For him, all these things matter a lot. Now, it's useless to expect him to change in this old age. That's fine that Maya has an independent household and that's why he managed to stay there for 2 months. Chaya lives with her in-laws and it would have been difficult for him to stay there for 2 days also. Kids didn't retorted much then. They quietly ate their dinner and left the dining table. Mrs. Prasad, while cleaning the dining table, asked her husband, Listen, is it necessary to leave this week only? Mr. Prasad looked at her with questionable eyes. No, actually, I was just thinking that kids could have relaxed a bit. Poor kids, they have just got free from their exams. So, who is stopping the kids from relaxing? Are you are not understanding, bhai. When elderly people stay in house, there are certain kind of obligation. Kids are refrained from extensive talking, laughing, and there is foundation on eating also. So you want that I should let Babuji live there forever only, said Mr. Prasad. Mrs. Prasad said in a subtle voice, No, what I meant to say was, can we delay his arrival with 8 to 10 days? Then only we have to. Mrs. Prasad could not decide on which suffix to use, endure or to bear. With the fear of her husband's anger, she could not complete the sentence. Sometimes unsaid words convey a lot of things. Mr. Prasad also understood the unsaid words. He was sad and disgusted on this thought of his wife. With so much desire, he had brought Babuji home. However, he wanted to bring him home immediately after his mother's demise, but could not do so as Babuji was not willing to leave. Mr. Prasad would alone run and make the ends meet and ask about the well-being of his father. Every time he found Babuji more sad and alone than before. It was obvious also, he lost his 45 years old companion and it was not at all easy for a person to overcome this loss. Then Babuji's friend also asked, Prasad, better you take him with you. It's old age now and he really needs someone to look after him continuously. After Ma's Barsi, no one listened to Babuji and everyone insisted him to come along with him. On everyone's insistence, from his son, daughter in law, and his grandkids, Babuji somehow got convinced to come and live with them in Bhopal. But very soon he understood that this insistence was only superficial and now he is simply a burden on them. Although Babuji is a very calm person and has limited needs and desires, he never has a habit of poking nose in any household matters. But still, he was a human being made up of flesh and bones. His presence was felt in the house. One of the biggest problems was of sleeping. Before this, whenever Babuji visited Mr. Prasad, he used to come with Ma, and both of them used to take care of each other. It used to be a matter of 8-10 days only. Something or the other could be managed, and some inconvenience also didn't bother much. Since kids that time were small, they used to sleep with their dada and dadi, and moreover, there used to be a fight who will sleep with whom. But situation have changed now. Kids have grown up. Both have their own separate room. Third room belongs to Mrs. and Mr. Prasad. For some days, Pinky slept with her mother and Mr. Prasad used to sleep with Babuji. But this arrangement could not be made on permanent basis. And Babuji was not ready to sleep in a teenage girl's room. Then he was made to sleep in Prasanna's room. There also it was a big problem. Prasanna had the habit of studying till late and the stereo in his room was permanently on. There were some posters on the wall which needed to be hidden from Babuji. Finally, Babuji's arrangement was done in living room. In the 3 BHK flat, living room was the only place where Babuji could find some solace. He used to sleep peacefully on the divan, but he was accompanied by his torch, muffler, glasses, shoes, etc. And in morning till the arrival of the servant, the living room didn't look like guest room. Toilet was also a big issue. Due to old age, Babuji needed to go bathroom frequently. Alas, he had to use Prasanna's bathroom. Babuji had a habit of waking up early in the morning. Prasanna, who used to sleep in the morning after being up for whole night, used to get angry on Babuji's gargle. One day there came a day when Babuji was intolerable for the kids. The word intolerable was also accoladed by the kids, which pinched Mr. Prasad a lot. Then, one fine day, he quietly wrote a letter to his younger sister Maya and asked her to take Babuji with her for some days. After the children's exam get over, he will come and take him back. Now since the exams have finished, but it seems that house is still not ready to welcome Babuji again. Mrs. Prasad has a habit of watching TV till late night and she wakes up late in the morning. She takes a bath at 12 and she has a massage scheduled every 2 times a week. Every 15 days, a lady comes to apply mehendi, and after every 3 days, she has her kitty party. With Babuji's presence in the house, these things cannot be done easily. Pinky is fond of wandering with her friends, and every third day, they all go to movies. Prasanna doesn't have a timetable of his own. His friends always keep him surrounded. With Babuji's stay, all these activities were conducted at a slow pace. Now, whole family was fond of eating outside, and then, in that case, full arrangement for Babuji needed to be done. This would spoil everybody's mood. It was not like that Mr. Prasad didn't understood his family members, but for this sake, he could not let him live with Maya all his life. Mrs. Prasad was busy in watching Saas Bahu serial, and Mr. Prasad took hold of the time, called his sister Maya. He used to call Maya every 10 to 15 days and used to ask about his well-being. He never had a courage to talk to Babuji directly, as he was afraid that if Babuji insisted on coming back to Bhopal, then he could not deny him. Maya's husband Suresh had received the call. After asking about the well-being, Mr. Prasad said, "I am coming on next Sunday. You please ask Babuji to be ready." "Bhai Sahab, didn't Maya told you that Babuji has left?" "Babuji has left? When?" He thought that his pitch was high and he looked at his wife from the corner of his eyes. She was busy in watching the serial. Then he asked slowly, "Where has he left for?" "To his house, Jora. I had personally gone to drop him, and yes, maybe since Babuji had asked Maya to not disclose anything with you, that's why she has not told you anything." Mr. Prasad was shocked for a few minutes. "Bhai Sahab, you please don't worry. They are elderly people and find it difficult to adjust in new surrounding. For them, their own home is much more comfortable." Mr. Prasad could not sleep peacefully that day. Another main problem was that he could not share his problem with his wife also. She will immediately say, "We took care of Babuji for 6 months and your sister could not keep her even for 2 months?" Next day, he called Maya from his office because he knew that Suresh would not be home at that time. After listening to his taunts, Maya responded, "Bhai Sahab, you think from my point also. From the 8th day, he was adamant on going back to Bhopal. With great difficulty, I could hold him for 15 days. Then one day, he started his journey to Bhopal all alone. And he said, 'Bhopal is not far away. You make me board a bus here and ring someone in Bhopal who would come to pick me up.' I tried to convince him a lot, but when he didn't agree, I had to tell him the truth." "Truth? What did you tell him?" "That you have to stay here till the completion of children's exam." "Okay, then you would have also told him that I have asked you to take him from here." "No, Bhai Sahab, I didn't told him anything about that, but he might have understood this much himself only. And after that, he was not at all ready to stay here for even a single day. He said, 'By God's grace, my house is still in a perfect condition. You please take me back there.' Then Suresh took him back and also made some necessary arrangements. After this, nothing much was left for him to say. He quietly kept the receiver down and started cursing the time when he had asked Maya to take Babuji with him. For the entire week he was clumsy and sad. Then one fine day, he boarded the Malwa Express. Early morning he reached Morena, and from there, whichever first bus he could take, he boarded it and reached his village, Jora. He was thinking that there might be disturbance in waking up Babuji and letting him open the door so early. But he forgot that people in village usually wake up early. On reaching home, he saw cots were spread across the courtyard and Babuji's friend circle was sitting there, busy in their discussions. Mr. Prasad touched everybody's feet and took everyone's blessings. Then everyone stood up and said, "Are Pandit ji, now you look after your son. We will take your leave." "No, no, please sit all of you. I'm no guest here. It's my house." This insistence had traces of courtesy in it, but the main objective was that he didn't wanted to confront his father all alone. But Babuji's friend didn't stop, and they left the house. After sending them both, father and son turned and went inside. Then Babuji said, "You freshen up and I will get the tea ready for you." When Mr. Prasad opened the door, he was surprised and asked, "Babuji, when did you got the new toilet seat?" "Oh, I got it installed few days back only. I thought that you people also face problem when you visit, and in old age, I also feel comfortable in using it." That bathroom was giving a look like a silk attachment in the rug. When Mr. Prasad came in the kitchen, he found a small table was kept, and the tea along with some biscuits were kept on the table. "This table is also new, Babuji?" "Ha, beta. Now I don't feel like eating on the pata. I miss your mother a lot. And also, food on pata is enjoyed when you have someone to talk with, who give you garam garam fulka. When you have to take food all by yourself and eat all alone, then table is fine, beta." Mr. Prasad understood that Babuji had made up his mind to stay here only. In comparison to other days, he was looking healthy and happy. Maybe sudden demise of Ma had left him completely hopeless, but now he is recovering. Mr. Prasad was searching for suitable words to express his feelings when Kisna came there and touched his feet. How are you, Kisna? All well by the grace of Babuji. Acha acha, you sing my praise later, but now you rush and arrange for some snacks for Bhaiya, said Babuji, and then he was telling him something, explaining in a very precautious manner. Mr. Prasad wanted to say that Babuji, I don't eat such things anymore, but he could not dare to do so. He wanted to give some money to Krishna, but again he could not dare to do it in front of Babuji. He felt that Babuji is back in his usual form, and he also felt that this is Babuji's house, and here his orders will be followed. Mr. Prasad thought that he should take a bath before the snacks arrive. After bathing, when he was drawing towel on the rope, he saw a lady who, on seeing Mr. Prasad, covered her face with ghungat. Babuji, who is there in the angan? Might be Kisna's wife. They stay here now. Here? I didn't understand. At the back side, the cow's room was idle. I made some arrangements and renovated that room. Kisna's wife was also in another village. He brought her along with him. She cooks for me, and Kisna washes my dhoti, my utensils, and brings my stuff from the market. This way, my work is also done, and I also have company. You people will also not have to worry that Babuji is staying all alone. But who will let you stay here, Babuji? I have come to take you back with me. Beta, there is no need to take me here and there. Whenever I feel like meeting you all, I will come on my own. But till the time my hands and legs are working, let me stay here. I have my friends and foes here. I have my family and relatives here. Whenever I stand on the door, 10 people pass by greeting me. Back there in Bhopal, it was very difficult to kill the time. All of you are fully engrossed with your busy schedules, and in this age, I am not able to read much. Babuji was right in his place. Mr. Prasad was thinking to answer him when Babuji continued, and beta, your mother is no more now, so at least till the time I am alive, the pier should remain the same. My girls can come here whenever they want. But Babuji, can't they come to my home? Mr. Prasad wanted to say, but the hollowness of his own talk made his mouth shut. He remembered whenever he wanted to call his sisters home, a pyramid of problems used to pile up. Babuji was continuing in pace. Poor girls, whenever they have come after their mother's demise, they had to cook and do everything themselves. Now Kisna's wife will help them a bit. Mr. Prasad said in between, Babuji, you have given room to this boy and his family. Will they not create any problem in the future? Problem? What kind of problem are you talking about? Like later, if asked them to vacate the place and if he refuses to do so, then later as in? Mr. Prasad was feeling very embarrassed. In his pace, he forgot what he was saying. But Babuji took it in a very light way and answered, why to worry about future? After me, no one will be staying here. This house needs to be sold then. Whosoever will buy it will deal with Kisna. There was a clear indication from Babuji. Mr. Prasad said, Babuji, I had never thought of selling the house. Beta, I am also not talking about now. For me, this house is not merely a house of bricks and cement, but it's a symbol of my mental strength. But after me, you have to sell this house. What will you do even after keeping it? There are many proposals coming for this house. While leaving for Bhopal, there was such a lucrative offer that I could hardly resist myself. Thankfully, God gave me some sense. Otherwise, my life would have been hell. While saying the last line, Babuji's voice choked. And now, the thought which was pricking Mr. Prasad's mind, it was the right time to convey it. Babuji, you suddenly came back to village from Maya's house. This is not fair. You know, I have not even told this thing to your Bahu. She will think that Maya didn't wanted to keep Babuji for long. Arey, beta, you have done right by raising this topic. Now, since you have started this topic, I would like to say something. Why to bring my girl into these gossip? It was a discussion done between you, brother and sisters. But think, if tomorrow my Jamai Babu started having problem with my presence, then where should I go? Before this situation could come, it was better for me to leave and come back my home. But why did you came here, Babuji? You should have come directly to Bhopal. Mr. Prasad wanted to say, but his voice was stuck in his throat. Babuji understood what he wanted to say. He stroked Mr. Prasad's back with sympathy and said, "You are awake for all night. Take some rest, beta. I will go for a round to market. What will you like to have in food?" Dear friends, this was end of a very heart-touching story. Please stay tuned for more such stories. Also, do not forget to like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.